Hey, what's up guys? Luke Rangel, and this is video 4 of 8 on the law of intentionality. And all that means is you have to be intentional with your growth, with your health, with your fitness. Now that sounds so simple, yet how many of us are actually being purposeful on our actions that we take every day? Or are we just growing by accident through the hard knocks of life by learning lessons throughout each day? Now, both ways work. One way takes a much longer time, and one way is a much more successful way, and that's the law of intentionality. Now, even though we have the most intentional purpose, or we're the most engaged at the moment, the most motivated, there are 8 reasons that usually stop us from growing, and that's what we're talking about in this series. In the first video, we talked about the assumption gap. Just where we automatically assume we're going to get healthier, we're going to get fitter as life goes on, because it happened ever since we were a child. We got taller, we got stronger by ourselves. We never really had to put too much effort into it until we got older. In video 2, we talked about the knowledge gap, where I don't know how to get healthy, I don't know what exercises to do, so we have to create the knowledge to do that. In video 3, we talked about the timing gap, where it's just not the right time to grow. And when we talk about that, the only thing that I think of is another law, and that's the law of diminishing intent. The longer we wait to do something we should do now, the greater the chances we will never do it. And that's what video 3 was about. And today what we're talking about is the mistake gap. And this is a gap that gets many people. Usually if you're afraid of failure, this is where it happens. I'm afraid of making mistakes, which also leads to I'm afraid of what other people may think of me. So often or not, especially in the fitness atmosphere as a trainer, people start for 1 to 2 weeks and then they give up. And the only reason they're giving up, they might not acknowledge it at the time, but the only reason they're giving up is because they did not get results as fast as they wanted to, which is the excuse they're using. But it's mainly because they're scared that their friends, that their family, that their coworkers are not going to accept them because they're not getting the results, because they're trying so hard to lose weight but they're not doing it. They're more scared of failure than they are of their own success, which is not a way to live. So in this 4th gap, the mistake gap, the only way to success is through failure, through making mistakes. I do not know one successful person in my life. I do not know one successful thing I've done in my own life where I did not make hundreds and hundreds of mistakes. The only difference is I went into it knowing I'm going to make a mistake. So when I did make a mistake, I actually learned from it. Instead of putting myself down, I rearranged things and raised myself up. So the 4th gap, the mistake gap, if you feel like you're not starting anything in your life, especially the health and fitness part of it, because you're afraid of making mistakes, I'm here to encourage you that you are going to make a lot of mistakes, and I encourage you to make plenty of mistakes, because that is how we learn and that is how we grow. Before you make the mistakes, one thing I suggest is find a mentor who's been there before you and ask them about their mistakes, ask them about their failures, so you don't have to repeat the same things. I hope that was helpful. I'm so excited for number 5 coming out tomorrow. Luke Rangel, have a great day.